all of my doll babies, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Brianna, aka Dollface PA, and I want to thank you for being here, whether you are returning or whether you're new. If you're new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, I am going to be talking about the crux. And what the crux is PA school. And so this is the thing that I probably get the most questions about, because obviously it's not called the crux for no reason. It's the most important and most pivotal part of everything that I'm going to talk about. So first, I want to start by talking about the layout of my program. The program is 28 months. So we had 4 didactic semesters, and didactic just means in the classroom, followed by a full year of clinical rotations. And so my program started in January of 2016 and it ended in May of 2018. And so semester 1 was from January to April. Semester 2 was April through August, I think. Something like that. No. It was, April through August. And then semester 3 was September to the end of the year, so through December 31st, because semester 2 ended at the very end of August. And then semester 4 started again in January and ended in April. And then in April, we started our clinical year, which was an entire 365-day calendar year. So from April 2017 to April 2018, I was doing clinical rotations, and then we graduated in May of 2018. And so, wow, PA school, whew. Undoubtedly the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I want to say one of our professors told us in PA school that they had done a poll talking to people who are currently PAs and practicing in the profession, and it was unanimous across the board that people say that they love being PAs and they wouldn't choose another profession or trade their profession for the world, but they would not do PA school again. And I second that sentiment 100%. It was absolutely brutal. And I don't say this to scare anybody away that's thinking about doing it, but I do say it to say that if this is not something that you're very serious about and fully committed to, and by fully, I mean fully dedicated mind, heart, and soul, this may not be the path for you, because it does require that level of dedication to not only get through it, but get through it successfully. It requires a lot of sacrifice. I missed a lot of trips with my friends, missed a lot of big occasions. I missed out on a lot because I was in PA school, and it is a full-time program. You cannot work and go to school. I know like a lot of people say that they try to get a part-time job or maybe a job on the weekends just to help support themselves, because PA school is so expensive. But I want to be the first to let you know it's not possible, because I mean, we were in school from maybe 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then I can assure you, you are going to spend your entire weekend studying. And so there's no extra time to do anything like that. I mean, they used to always say in PA school that the amount of information you learn in an entire semester in undergrad, you learn in 1 week in PA school. And I honestly used to think they were just being dramatic when they said that, but it's absolutely true. The information is being thrown at you at the speed of a water hose, because you have to understand that you are getting a 4-year medical school curriculum condensed into 28 months. And granted, we don't go into the level of depth that doctors go into when they're in medical school, but we do touch on every topic that doctors learn in medical school. So it really is just a rapid fire expedited medical school, 4 years and 28 months. So you have to keep up with the pace. And in order to do that, it's going to require everything that you have in you, every amount of focus, every amount of attention, every amount of concentration. So now that I've said that little spiel, my first semester of PA school, oh my goodness, it was one of the most humbling experiences of my life, because honestly, I've always been very smart. I was very smart in high school. I was at the top of my class in high school. I was even very smart in college. I was at the top of my class in college. As I said in a previous video, I graduated with summa cum laude, a cumulative 3.98 GPA. And so I guess you could say I went into PA school feeling myself a little bit. When they were telling us oh, it's going to be really difficult. You guys need to brace yourself. it's going to be a very fast pace. I went in there thinking like, oh, well, I'm smart. Like, this is not going to be that bad. Like, it's probably going to be hard, but it probably won't be that bad. Honey, let me tell you, after day one, after going to my first class, pathophysiology, I knew that I was in for the ride of my life. Because you have to understand, when you get to this level, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Everybody is smart. As I explained in the previous video, they literally only select the cream of the crop. So you have to understand, you're literally among geniuses. Everybody in your class is smart. And to be very honest with you, I knew after a couple of classes, I wasn't really as smart as I thought I was, because the people around me were so much smarter than me. So I got knocked down off my horse very, very quickly. It was very, very humbling for me. And after my first week of school, I actually went home and had a mental breakdown. I remember telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I can't do this. There's no way I'm going to make it through this program. Like, we're only 1 week into the semester. I'm so confused. I don't understand anything. It's so much information. I already have a test next week. I was literally freaking out. I cried. I just was thinking like, I can't believe I went through all of this. I prepared all this time for PA school, and now I'm here and I can't do it. I can't do it. So I want to let you know, if you're in PA school right now or about to start PA school, I want to fully forewarn you that that is a normal and excuse me, that is a normal and completely appropriate feeling and response to what you're going to be going through when you're in school, because it's no joke. It's no joke. And thankfully, I had my mom, my family, my support system there to coach me through it. They're like, yes, you can do it. And I'm like, Mom, no, like, I actually can't do this. Like, this is so hard. She's just like, don't give up. Like, just very encouraging. And I stuck with it. But it was by the grace of God that I made it through that first semester. Because to me, the first semester was the hardest semester, because you're getting into the pace of a medical master's program. Like, you're learning medical school at a master's level, and it's just it was really an adjustment. It's nothing like undergrad. You're having multiple tests a week and multiple classes. So we took anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, and some other classes that I don't even remember right now, because those 2 classes were so hard and took up so much of my time and so much of my life and so much of my energy and so much of my soul that I don't even know what other classes I took first semester. But anatomy and physiology, we were very fortunate at our PA school because we had a cadaver lab. So we did have practicals and tests and everything with the live cadavers, which was so hard to me. It was so hard to me, but I made it through. And you can make it through too, but you have to understand it's going to require all of you and then some. So make sure you have a good support system, because if I wouldn't have had my parents and my close friends, I don't think I would have made it through this. I did move home for PA school. I was able to move back into my parents' house to save some money, because my program was pretty expensive and I was trying to minimize the amount of loans that I took out. And so I only took out the loans that I needed to pay for school, as opposed to having to take out additional loans for living expenses too, if I would have had an apartment and had rent and so forth, because as I stated before, there's no way you can work while you're going through this program. So now that I've gotten all that out, after the first semester, I believe we started general medicine the second semester. So there's 3 semesters of general medicine, and that's where you just pretty much learn all of your medicine. Like, you go through every body system and you just learn everything. And you have medicine in the second semester, third semester, and fourth semester. And medicine is always the hardest in the third semester, because that's when we do our cardiology unit. And for those of you who don't know, cardiology makes up a very large part of the PANCE. So it's critical that you not only get through the material in school, but that you actually understand it and retain it, because I don't want to say the wrong number because I don't remember right now, but I remember them telling us something crazy, like the PANCE is made up of like 40% cardiology. So if you don't grasp this part, it's a... So honey, let me tell you, the cardiology unit was so traumatizing for me that I think like even the energy in the room shifted, and that's why my backdrop started falling down when I started talking about it. But no, the cardiology unit makes up such a large portion of the PANCE that if you don't, 1, understand it, and 2, retain it, your odds of passing the boards go down significantly. And so for me, I was a CNA, as I spoke about in my previous video. I was a CNA prior to going to PA school. And so I had absolutely no knowledge of cardiology. And what I mean by that is I couldn't read an EKG. Like I had seen EKGs before. And for those of you who don't know what EKG is, you know, like the little thing that goes beep, 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 like the heartbeat. So I had seen it before, like in a movie or like maybe on the internet, but I had no idea what this meant. So back to my previous point of being humbled, I was in class with a lot of like former paramedics, former EMTs, some were even former nurses that were just doing like a career switch. So they knew what these EKGs were. Like they knew how to read them, knew how to interpret them. And again, as I stated before, the program is so accelerated that they don't really start on a beginner level. So they're not really like going through saying what each one of these things mean. They like go in talking about a QRS complex and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know what that is. Like I got to start from the beginning. So a lot of it was like self-directed learning at home because when we initially began our cardiology unit, they jumped right into it and I didn't even know the basics. And so that's another thing that I would say in terms of preparation, because PA school is so accelerated. If you have an opportunity to get that direct patient care experience in a field that will put you at an advantage for when you do go to PA school, such as paramedic or EMT, I would highly suggest that, because I felt like I was behind from the beginning. Like I was behind the curve from the jump because I just didn't know. Like I didn't know any of the things we were learning, and so I struggled. To this day, I still really do not like cardiology. And I mean, I see a fair amount of it in my field working in internal medicine. I have to look at EKGs, and like even now sometimes I'm like, ugh, I just don't even want to look at it, but obviously I have to. But it's something that like it's known across the board that cardiology is a very, very difficult part of PA school. And you also do your first ACLS, Advanced Cardiac Life Support course, during that semester, which is when you get certified to not just do CPR, but to actually like run a code, like a cardiac arrest. And so for those of you who know what BLS is, that's just basic life support, choking, CPR. ACLS is a little bit more advanced in the sense that they teach you which medications to push. You learn like the different arrhythmias such as VTAC, VFib, and is it pulseless VTAC, things of that nature. That's what ACLS is. We also did that in third semester with our cardiology unit. And so there used to be like a saying, like if you can make it through the third semester of PA school, you can make it through PA school. So glory be to God, I made it through the third semester because I did not think I was going to make it through. I was struggling so much with cardiology and we were having so many tests and it was so crazy, but I did make it through. And I don't know, I mean, I feel like I could go on about this forever and ever and ever. And so if you guys have specific questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. Please hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter. Please email me. My email is also in the info box with the description. I can answer individual questions. I just don't want to like go on and on about this. But yeah, so semester 4 of the didactic year, which was a semester from January to April of 2017, is pretty light. Like they're really just getting you ready to go out on clinical rotation. So I mean, it's pretty easy. Out of all of the didactic semesters, semester 4 to me was the easiest. And maybe it's because it was actually just easier, or maybe it was because you just have the hang of it because you have 3 semesters under your belt. But what I'm trying to say is that there is hope. It does get easier. So in the beginning, it's gonna feel brutal. And if you're watching this and you're like in your first or second semester of PA school, know that it's going to feel brutal. It's going to, but I promise it will get better. Just stick it out. You can do it. You were made for this. If you're having imposter syndrome and you're thinking like, this ain't for me, I can't do this, the devil is a lie, you can do this. You are built for this. And not only can you do this, you will do this. So stick it out, okay? That's my piece on that. And so then we went on to clinicals. So clinicals were so fun. I loved clinicals. This is the part where you kind of get to decide, what do you want to do when you finish PA school? And so we had 8 5-week clinical rotations. We had 6 core rotations, and then you get to select 2 elective rotations. My two elective rotations that I selected was dermatology and GI, which is gastroenterology, stomach doctors, for those of you who don't know. I've always been very, very interested in gastroenterology. I actually really love it. Like when we did our gastroenterology module in medicine, I loved it. I blew it out the water. I got A's on all my tests. I don't know, something about the mouth and the gut connection is just very, very, very interesting to me. So those were my two electives that I chose. The other six core rotations that you have to do is family medicine, internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, psychiatry, and which one am I forgetting? Emergency medicine. And I don't know how I could forget that, because since I started PA school, I always said I wanted to go into emergency medicine. And I'll talk about this probably in a subsequent video, but that was actually what I thought I wanted to do up until I graduated. So I loved my emergency medicine rotation. I got to see a lot. I got to do a lot. I got to do a lot of procedures. It was amazing. And when I finished, I knew for a fact, I was like, emergency medicine is it. Like, I have to go into emergency medicine. Emergency medicine PAs are paid very well. And for those of you who don't know, emergency medicine is just ER. It just means a PA that works in the emergency room and is seeing like whatever comes through. So I really, really wanted that because I thought it would just be so fun and so spontaneous. You never know what you're going to see at work because every day is a different day. Like, who knows what you'll see today? And I love that aspect of it. And so I would have never thought in a million years that I would end up in internal medicine, because to be quite honest with you, I hated my internal medicine rotation. I thought it was boring. And when I say internal medicine, I'm specifically speaking to hospitalists, because my internal medicine rotation was inpatient. So it was in the hospital. So basically on that rotation, we're seeing patients who are admitted to the hospital, patients who have gone to the emergency room, require hospitalization, and now are on the medicine floor and need to be managed. That's what internal medicine hospitalist is. Who would have ever thought that is the field that I would have ended up going into? But I love it. I'm in it now and I love it. But when I did it as a student on my clinical rotation, I did not like it at all. So what I'm saying is that when you go through your clinical rotations, take everything with a grain of salt, because what you like as a student may be very different than what you may like when you're actually practicing in your profession, because that was certainly my case. Oh wait, I missed one. OBGYN. So I'm sorry, there are 9 rotations that we had to do. There's 7 core. The 6 that I mentioned in addition to OBGYN, that's also a core. And then I had my 2 electives, which were dermatology and GI. I loved OBGYN. I loved OBGYN and I loved surgery, which a lot of people, that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people don't like surgery because you have on that gear all day, long surgeries, you're on your feet all day. It is very physically exhausting on the body, but I loved my surgery rotation. And I loved OBGYN because it's kind of an integration of, you get to see the patients in the office, and then one day out of the week, you guys go in the OR to do C-sections, to do hysterectomies, to do, gynecologic procedures, and I loved that. And so I really enjoyed most of my rotations, honestly, with the exception of psychiatry. Not for me. My hat goes off to anybody that can do psychiatry. It's not for me. I absolutely hated psychiatry. And internal medicine hospitalist, I didn't like that one, and I ended up going into it. So yeah, that's the layout. You bust your tail, and I do mean bust your tail. Oh my goodness, for 16 months in didactic, and then you kind of get to, I don't want to use the word cruise on clinicals, because you do have an end of rotation exam at the end of every clinical, so you do have to know what's going on your clinical rotation. But clinicals is the fun part. That's when you get a preview of what you're actually going to be doing when you start practicing. So I absolutely loved clinicals. It was so fun. I did my clinicals all over the place.
I was all over the place.
And it also kind of you get to get a feel of the area, because obviously you're coming up to a point where you're going to have to start applying for jobs. I was able to get a feel for what area I wanted to live in when I started my job. And it just was a really, really good experience for me. I absolutely loved it. It was so fun. And once clinicals are over, you take your last end of rotation exam in April, and you have a couple of weeks before graduation. And that's usually when people really start studying for the PANCE. You can take your PANCE anytime 7 days after graduation. So I graduated on May 18th, I believe. I don't know how I don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure it was May 18th. So the soonest I would have been able to take my PANCE would have been May 25th. And I signed up for the first available date. Some people are like, oh no, like I want the summer to study. I'm not taking my PANCE until April. But me, I had already accepted a job offer. And so my job offer was contingent upon me passing the PANCE. And I had accepted my job back in March. And so my job was waiting for me to pass the PANCE to like officially extend the offer. And so I knew I had to take it right away. So as soon as I finished with my rotations, I immediately started studying for the PANCE, which I'm going to make a whole nother video about how I prepare for that. And I took it the first time and I passed it. I'm going to be honest with you. I used to hear all the time in PA school, because obviously when you're a student, that's all you're thinking about is the PANCE. It's just like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to pass the PANCE? Am I going to be able to do it? And people would always say, like, your program has prepared you. Like, you went to an excellent program. You will be more than prepared for the PANCE. Don't stress about it. And obviously as a student, when you're hearing that, you're like, whatever, like, I'm still worried. I'm still nervous. I'm still scared. But I studied like crazy for the PANCE. And when I went to take that test, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I passed. Like, I can truly say that my program definitely prepared me for that test. And I think that is something very important to look at when you are looking at which PA program you want to go to. Look at their percentage of pass rate of the PANCE of the first time. And that didn't even sound right the way I just said that. Look at their first time pass rate percentage for the PANCE. That information is available whenever you are looking into what PA school you want to go to. And for Eastern Virginia Medical School, they had 100% pass rate. And so I knew my odds were very, very high of passing, because historically, or I think at least the class before mine, the year before mine, had 100% pass rate. The year before that, it was like 98%. But that's very important, because you want to pick a program that is going to adequately prepare you for this test. Because the worst thing would be to get to the end of this brutal 28 months to fail the PANCE, because then it's just like, it's all for nothing. You can retake it again, but nobody wants to go through that. And so in my next video, I'm going to definitely like delve into how I prepare for the PANCE, everything you need to go, like everything you need to know, everything you need to get material wise to prepare for. And if you have any questions at all, again, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for watching this video. I know I'm talking a lot, so if you made it this far, you a real one. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking with me, doll babies. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you.